Hello, my podcast people, and thank you for joining me for yet another episode of my favorite podcast. Today, we are celebrating 600 podcast episodes, and I am sharing 6 episodes that I have learned from talking so much. If you are listening or watching this on the day that it drops, it is Monday, July 29th. Welcome to the last few days of July. Goddamn, it goes by fast. This is your daily reminder to make the most of each day. I'm going to clean these glasses while we do this little intro because they are so dirty. So today we are celebrating a podcast milestone, which is 601 episodes technically of Maestro on the mic. And as a way of celebrating, I'm going to share 6 things that I have learned. I kind of sifted through a bunch of stuff and I was like, what exactly do I want to share? And so I'm sharing kind of some, we'll call it 30,000 feet things. Nothing super technical on like how to record the podcast the best way. If you want to start a podcast, if you have questions with the logistics of a podcast, y'all know I have a completely free podcast guide, how to start a podcast. We will link that in the show notes. Thank you, Courtney. All right. And speaking of Courtney, thank you to Courtney. A huge thank you to Courtney. A huge thank you to Joe. A huge thank you to Lex. They are my team. They help keep this thing going. And quite frankly, without them, it would stop. Right? Like, I could say best case, worst case scenario, and like kind of give parameters. No, it would stop because it's just too much to do on my own. It would just be a mere shell of what it is now. So huge thank you to them because they are who keeps this thing going. Second, thank you to all of you that have started watching, all of you that have been listening, especially those of you that have been listening since day one. It has been 6 years, and some of y'all have been here since the beginning, which is just absolutely incredible, absolutely remarkable, absolutely mind-blowing. So thank you if that's you. You know, you share your biggest and most important resource with me, or your most valuable resource with me, which is your time. So thank you. I thought about when I was recording this or writing out the episode, outlining the episode, I thought about doing something, different and sharing like my 6 favorite episodes. But honestly, I have no idea what I've said in all these episodes. Like there are 600 is just so fucking much. Like I will toot my own horn, toot. It's a lot. It's a lot of talking. It's a lot of episodes. And I have no idea what I've said. I know that I say the same things over and over again, but I don't have like this was my favorite episode. I do try to bring back on the, Thursdays for this year. I do try to bring back episodes that I really enjoy, but I typically bring back episodes that I feel are relevant to the topic that I'm presenting that week, more than anything. So I was just like, that feels like an impossible task to be like, here's 6 episodes. So I'm not doing that. And the fact that, this volume and just the fact that I just keep talking and saying things actually ties into one of the lessons for today. So let's get into the updates and then we'll jump into the episode. So, 2 updates, one life update, one business update. For the life update, this past weekend was Thanksgiving in July, and it was so good. You could probably hear that I'm a little bit stuffy. I am a little bit stuffy. Why? Because my sister has the dogs and I'm apparently allergic to them. Oh, she has one dog. I'm clearly allergic. So I spent this past weekend, Lex and I went back east. My sister lives in Red Lion, PA. My mom was there. My grandmother was there. My sister, obviously, and her husband were there, and their 2 kids, Seamus and Jameson. And it was so good to see them. I did not get to see my brothers. My one brother, Daniel, he's in the Marines. He's actually on the West Coast. He couldn't get time off. And my other brother, Justin, the day before, I was actually, as I was in the air, rather, he found out that his boss had COVID and he spent the entire day before with his boss. So he was just like, you know what, I'm not going to come because my grandmother was going to be there. Because none of us give a fuck, but my grandmother was there. So he didn't come. But I'm going to see him at the end of August. He'll be here for like 10 days. So that'll be fine. But it was great to see them. And I actually made a reel with Seamus. We will link that. Thank you, Courtney. It was so good. He is just such a little ham and just such a natural on camera. Jameson, the older of the 2 boys, did not want to be in it until after he saw it. And he was like, wait a minute. And I was like, listen, it's too late. But we'll probably do something with him at Thanksgiving. But it was just so good. And I really, really highly recommend doing your own Thanksgiving or, Christmas in the summer if you have family that you want to see more. And especially if you live in the Northern Hemisphere, right? Living in the Northern Hemisphere means that it's cold during the holidays. And for me, going back east, like that's not that fun. Depending on like where you are in the Northern Hemisphere, like if you live in SoCal, it's not so bad. But for those of us that are from colder places, we typically go home during the holidays, and the holidays are in the winter and it's cold. And for me, it's not as fun. So it was nice to borrow this idea from Jill. She's done Christmas in July with her family for years and years and years. And it has become an annual tradition. Lex came this year for the first time. She had met them at Thanksgiving, but she came for the first time this year for the Christmas or the Thanksgiving in July. And it was just great. So 12 out of 10 recommend doing that if you have family members that you'd like to see more, because the time goes by so fast. So that's the life update. The other update, the business update. Don't forget, early bird pricing for Boss Up 2024 ends this Wednesday, like in 2 days from now. That's July 31st. Last Monday's episode was all about Boss Up, so I'm going to direct you to that episode for the deep dive and all the deep details. But the TLDR, I guess it'd be the TLDL, right? Too long didn't listen. Is that Boss Up is the live event of the year for female online business owners and female online business hopefuls. It is October 10th and 11th in Redondo Beach. That is where Jill and I live. Or Jill lives in Manhattan, but it's here where we live. It is hosted by me and my bestie, Jill Fit. And we're going to be getting tactical and practical, teaching you the tactical and practical side of online business and how to do online business in a way that feels good for you. It's not rah-rahs. It's not bullshit. It's not just manifesting. If that's your thing, cool. But this is how to get actionable with these ideas, what to implement, what to be focused on if you want to get your business started or if you want to take your business, your online business, to the next level. We also have guest speakers coming in this year. We got 3 of them, Dr. J-Pop, we got Rachel Strickland, and we got Dr. Uchenna Osai. And they're going to be speaking about we'll kind of call them soft skills, even though I fucking hate that term, but they're speaking about what it takes to actually become the type of person who does online business differently. So I am stoked. Definitely, if you have any questions about it, feel free to hit me up, but definitely go check out the episode that I did with Jill, or that Jill and I did together on Monday. All of that, the link for that, the link for the registration page, the link for all the information page about Boss Up, all of that will be in the show notes. Thank you, Courtney. All right, let's get into this. 6 lessons from 600 podcast episodes. Number 1, thank you. That is not a lesson, but I do what I want because it's my podcast, right? Thank you to all of you who are watching. Thank you to all of you who are listening. I know that I thanked you in the beginning, and maybe, I'll probably thank you again a million more times, but it's because y'all keep this thing going, right? Thank you to Courtney, Joe, Lex. They actually legit keep this thing going. And thank you for all of you for listening, because it's, why I continue, a big reason why I continue to do what I do. And it's a great reward, I should say, for doing what I do. You stay listening. You give me your most valuable resource. You share stuff on Instagram. You advertise for me. You message me. You leave reviews. And I'm really fucking grateful for that. So thank you. Lesson number 2, things will change. Allow them. Things will stay the same. Allow them. My intro has been the same since day one. I should probably change the end part because it talks about movement. I don't really talk about movement anymore. So maybe I'll get around to that, but we'll see. But do not feel the need to change things just for the sake of changing things, right? I watch people I watch the sneaker companies do it. It drives me fucking crazy. Y'all know this. I watch as businesses do things just because they think they have to maintain market share, to not lose customers, to just have more, to be greedy. You don't have to change just for the sake of change, right? If, however, the things that you're doing are not serving you, they're not working, no longer working, and you need to change, then go ahead and change it, right? Things will change, and that's totally fine. Allow them. I used to just riff on this podcast, and now I outline, and I have, video recording. My favorite way to consume podcasts is now YouTube. I used to not consume them at all. I still don't consume them just randomly. But if I'm going to, I prefer to actually watch them on YouTube, right? And I put my own episodes up on YouTube, right? Things can and will change. Allow them. Number 3, lesson number 3. The best reason to start and keep a podcast going is because you enjoy it. I know I said earlier, and I will thank you again, you folks are a large reason why I continue to do this. And I really should say that you folks, you are a fantastic benefit of keeping this thing going. I personally don't know anyone that is making $1 zillion off of having a podcast. I don't. This is partially likely because, the circle that I keep, folks monetize their audience, not the platform that they're on. Right? Within my circle, and I'll probably make a content about this, an episode about this, but people are monetizing the audience, right? They're not monetizing the actual platform, not looking to get money from the platform. To that end, most folks that I know don't have a podcast as like their main source of revenue. So like, it's not the only thing that they're doing. So they're not doing this because of the financial benefits or the financial outcome of it, right? Very likely, if you're trying to have some like huge financial reward from the podcast, it'd have to be like your only gig. You're like kind of Joe Rogan, where you're like, this is my thing, this is what I do, and I get paid to do it. Cool. Most of the folks that I know, or all the folks I know, they don't do that. So this is again why I will, die on the hill of the best reason to start a podcast and the best reason to keep on going is simply because you enjoy it. On paper, a podcast, your podcast, my podcast for sure, will likely cost you far more than you make, right? I don't have sponsors for this. I don't want to deal with the bullshit of it. Literally, everyone I know that has podcast sponsors, they end up stopping because it's fucking annoying, right? Because the sponsors want to see numbers, they want to dig into things, and like they offer you like $500 a month, which is nice, but at the end of the day, I'm like, that's not worth it to me. I don't want to have to fucking meet with you or answer to you. Keep your $500, and I will keep all of my airspace and use it how I want, right? So on paper, the podcast may look like it is costing you far more than it makes. But this is also because you can't put a number typically on the amount of trust that is built with your audience and the subsequent business that comes from your audience, comes from your audience, that comes from the podcast, right? That comes from your audience listening to the podcast. Additionally, and I said it a million times, a podcast is a very unidirectional platform, meaning you're never necessarily sure what's landing. Like, yeah, you can see downloads and things like that, but you are in the moment, and until it's released, you're just talking to yourself. A huge thank you again to those of you that write to me, you message me, you DM me, and you let me know that it's landing and it's helping. But also, this happens oftentimes after the fact, right? It can be a week, 2 weeks, a month after the episode has released. If you are only showing up because people are clapping for you or because people might clap for you, you will stop, right? You got to do it as it relates to starting this podcast or keeping it going. You got to do it because you enjoy it. And because you value it as a way to share your message and get your ideas out there, right? Lesson number 3, the best reason to start and keep a podcast going is because you enjoy it. All right, lesson number 4. Momentum is a hell of a drug. Hell of a drug. Y'all already know, this is one of my many shticks, just keep going. Even when it comes to something as simple as like outlining an episode, right? Even this episode, you may not have a solid idea to start off with, but if I know for me personally, I'll sit down and I'm like, all right, I'm going to sit down and see what comes out. Just keep going. And I start typing and I keep typing. Before I know it, the episode is done. And oftentimes it's longer than I thought it was even going to be. The number of times that I've had to go back into the outline and like erase parts where I've been like, this is going to be a short episode. I don't have much to say. I know that I've actually said it in numerous episodes where I was like, I wasn't even going to do an episode about this because I thought it would be super short. And I sat down and outlined it and I was like, I can't shut up. I apparently got a lot of things to say about it. Right? If you are thinking of starting a podcast, take it one episode at a time and then legit just keep going. Lean on that momentum. Show up on the days when you don't feel like showing up. Show up on the days when you don't have anything to say. Show up on the days when you're busy. Just keep it going, right? Momentum will always, my friends, momentum will always beat motivation. And continuing something, right, is way easier than starting. We know it is physics and the object in motion stays at motion. Activation energy, right, getting that bitch started, way more difficult. So let's just keep it going, right? All right, lesson number 5. Stop trying to guess what people want. Yes, my whole shtick is, another whole shtick is wait to create as relates to basically anything, like listen first. But more so as relates to a podcast, you're never going to know what's going to resonate with somebody or when it's going to resonate with somebody. I strategically said somebody because the goal isn't to try to be relatable to everyone, right? It's just for specific people. It's like, think of one person that this may help. Amazing. Put this episode out for them. Yes, I absolutely try to keep my finger on the pulse, and I encourage you to do that as well. All right, some people are really good at what we call trend jacking. We'll see what's hot topics. All of the big names out there, they're fucking trend jackers. All right, where they're like, what's trending, what's popular, cool. I'm gonna put an episode out about that. So do that if you'd like. All right, but I get messages about episodes, and they'll come way, way after the fact, and I'm just like, fuck yeah, that's awesome that it helped you. It could be a week, a month. It could be from like last year. I have people that now that I have these, I'm putting out the replay episodes or the Thursday throwback episodes, and they're like, dude, that episode was super helpful. I'm like, great, that thing came out 2 years ago. That's awesome. Yes, it came out again, but like the original message, I put it out 2 years ago. Right? So stop trying to guess what people want and just keep showing up. You never, ever know what people are going through. So you never know when it's going to land. You never know when it's going to be helpful. You're never going to know what will hit for them or when it will hit for them. So just keep showing up. Stop trying to guess what people want. All right. Sixth and final lesson from 600 podcast episodes. Don't forget to be a goddamn human. Simple, right? We can get very easily caught up with the super clinical things, or depending on what kind of podcast episodes you're listening to or podcast you're listening to, it may be like a lot of teaching. And I've spoken about this before and how I have made it, very concerted effort to make sure I made a concerted effort to put in just updates about my life and talking about that. Because people do want connection. I know the last point was like, hey, trying to guess what people want, but I can tell you people want connection. Why? Because we are a social species, right? So you have to guess about that. People want connection, right? So share your life. Share what you're up to. Bring your friends on. Those are some of the most fun ones to listen to. Like when I listen to Brian and Aaron's podcast, Eat, Train, Prosper, my favorite part's the beginning where they're just talking about life updates and they're going back and forth. Like, yes, I love the information that they share, but I love that they start off the episodes by saying, hey, here's some life updates, right? Leave in the ums. Don't edit those bitches out. Just be a human, right? Be a goddamn human. To me, yes, podcasts are business hacks because they are definitely networking hacks, because you can bring on folks and have conversations with folks that perhaps you wouldn't have otherwise been able to have. But way more than that, podcasts build so much trust with your audience. So much trust. And a huge part of building that trust is being a goddamn human. All right, gonna wrap it up there. Right, very simple. 6 things that I have learned, 6 lessons from 600 episodes. Again, huge shout out to my team: Courtney, Joe, Lex. You make sure that this ship, I almost said shit. It really isn't shit. It's ship, right? You make sure that this ship stays afloat, and without you, it would sink. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Right? And second, big shout out to all of you. You watch, you listen, you share it, you write back to me, you text me, you DM me. Just thank you. Thank you. Don't forget, early bird pricing for Boss Up ends this Wednesday, so make moves. All right, that's all I got for you. Cheers to 600 more. Until next time, friends, Maestro out.